Talk to you about who is an engineer, what type of person is an engineer. Well, if you like solving problems, if you like thinking outside the box, and if you like the sense of completion, engineering is for you. But most people think that, okay, I love doing that, but I don't think I have what it takes. You know, I don't have the straight A's. It's going to take a lot of time and it's a lot of work. It's overwhelming. You have to really put a lot of time and energy and effort into it, which is all true, which is very true. But these should not make you shy away from engineering. These should motivate you. These should challenge you to to get the grades and to work hard. If you're a successful engineer, always has the can-do attitude. I will complete the project. I will understand the concept. I will complete something. And the two things that you need is that you need to stay focused and you need to discipline yourselves. It's the two things engineers do. You have to find something that you like, something that interests you, and you have to stick with it and try to learn as much as you can about it because you enjoy it. It's difficult. Not everything is easy. Engineering is not easy. Real problems in the real world are hard, and they're hard to solve. But you work as a team. I myself have a lot of experience working with teams. I worked for PLTL, which stands for Peer-Led Team Learning. What it is, so how many guys are in your class? How many guys are you? 30?
Well, who's the actual engineering student? Raise your hand.
Oh, we have engineering students. Wow. All right. Okay. There you go. So, in university, when you take your general classes, it's not going to be a class of 30 or 40. It's going to be a class of about 150 students. Now, you could think, all right, well, 150 students, nobody cares about me. Well, we care about each and every student. What we have is these teams, like you see that picture over there. We have a group of students. We come together once a week and we solve problems. And this is mandatory. Imagine if I had to tell you, you have to come for 2 hours and sit down and do these problems. But it's a very informal session. It's not a class. It's just you and your friends get together and have problems. Have problems to solve, and you do it with somebody that's already taken the class, maybe one semester ahead of you or 1 year older than you, but you're still around the same age group. So some of the benefits, well, engineering takes just as long as any other program, and it's 4 years of study and 4 years of fun. You get to travel, you become part of clubs, international clubs, national clubs. American Institute of Chemical Engineers is something that we're all part of. We're part of, I myself, I'm part of the American Nuclear Society. And you go to Los Angeles, Boston, Florida, and it's not once a year. These are multiple events that you can go through throughout an annual year. So another thing that's really cool about engineering is that with engineering you could do anything. You could become a TV actor, a movie actor. You could become a politician. You could become a doctor, and you could become a teacher, and you could become an engineer. Maybe I should have said you could become an engineer first. But by the way, who's Michael Bloomberg? Anybody? He's the mayor. All right, you all got it right. Well, what's his discipline, by the way? What did he do? What did he do? Anybody knows what he did in school? Anybody knows what he did in university?
Engineer.
Okay, engineer.
Who said it?
Who said it?
What team are you?
Team C. Constant system. All right. Engineering, very good. He was an electrical. All right, so he was an electrical engineer, and he runs one of the greatest cities in the world, New York City. So it's not impossible. We have leaders that we see on TV every day that started off right where you are right now. Alright, so now I'm going to turn it over to Ala Zmaraeva. She's going to talk to you about women in engineering.
I want to talk to the girls, and I want to talk about women in engineering a little bit. So, for a long time, women were really underrepresented in the engineering field. We had just a few of them. But over the time, we proved that we can be as good of engineers as men are. And why should women go to engineering? Why not? First of all, there are so many scholarships for women engineers. Then because we think differently. We can come up with the ideas that boys would never think about. And when you come up with the idea, the recognition comes after that. So everybody recognizes like what a great job you've done. And then you get to be a lot of boys all the time, which is last but not least. So now I will tell you a little bit about my experience in this school. Since I was your age, I was fascinated by the fact that if you take a battery, it can store energy in a chemical bond and then release it on demand. So when I came here, I went to work in a battery lab. And you'll say, what's fun about battery, right? Just regular battery thing. But we did this flexible battery, and it was really thin, and you can flex it any way you want. And it was the most flexible battery in the world when they published this paper. So I was really motivated by this because it's really cool to do something, make something that is the only one in the world. And then we made this stretchable battery. You could like stretch it, bend it, and so that was another cool device. And you'll say, who cares, right? Some stupid battery that stretches or bends. But then NASA people, they saw that we can build all these kind of cool devices, and they asked us to build a battery for the NASA spacecraft. Basically what NASA does, they want to build the third generation spacecraft that is made from the battery. Because they want to save space and they want to save waste. So this winter I worked on the battery for NASA aircraft, which is going to be only finished in 30 years or so, but it takes a long time to do something like this. So you never know. If you like innovation, invention, and you want to contribute to do something like for the world, engineering might be a place for you, and it's really fun.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do they pay for you on the battery?
For the what?
For the battery?
Do they pay me?
Do they pay the school?
Oh yeah, definitely. We get a grant, they give us money, and they say work on it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What team are you on? What team are you on?
I am the team.
Oh, you're
B team?
No, I'm the team of all teams.
Okay.
everybody.
My name is Roman. We're going to start talking about applications now. I'm going to give you a little of my background so you know where I came from. So I was born in Tajikistan, raised in Israel, and later came to get educated in a university in New York. When I came, I didn't know much about engineering because I was in a science high school, not an engineering high school like you guys, many of you. And what I knew is basically biology, some physics, and a lot of math. So I started as a pre-med major, but then I realized it's too much memorization, you know. I was looking for some more analytical work, and there was no enough sleep. All-nighters and too many books to read. What I said to myself, I need some thinking, you know, I need some analytical thinking. I have to change a major. So I started thinking what I do need. And I realized that I need analytical thinking, good money, and contribute to the world and make a change in the world, which I really wanted to do. So it led me to engineering to chemical engineering after a lot of research that I've done. And let me tell you now about applications. So there are many fields in engineering, and fields of them are mechanical and electrical engineering. We have the biomedical and chemical, which also contains a lot of nanotechnology. We have the mechanical engineering, which you can see here, it changes the world, basically the world for the person who is disabled, for example. We have the electrical engineering, which you probably use every day nowadays, which I didn't have when I was your age. So let me tell you about chemical engineering. So we have the carbon nanotubes. This is going to be my next research, by the way. I've never told it to anyone, but this is my plan. So I've learned about these ones. We have the immune system and a lot of other things that are done with the nanotechnology and chemical engineering. There is the traditional chemical engineering, which is basically distillation columns, and this is where all the chemicals that you do use on a daily basis come from. I mean, it goes through distillation because you never have the material which you have right now, but you usually have the raw material, which is a mixture of many others. And there are these cool materials, basically, that nowadays there is an armor that was developed. If you put a knife through it very fast, it doesn't let the knife through. But if you do put it very slow, it goes through. And it's basically a huge step forward. We have also the electromechanical engineering, and we have the biomedical engineering. You can see the mechanical engineering, aerospace, and a lot of electrical engineering down here. We have the smartphones. Now, biomedical engineering, there's a lot of neural engineering and a lot of tissue engineering. Basically, the tissue engineering is they take a stem cell from your body, from your fat cells, and they make a tissue which is going to be put into your any part of your body and fused with the muscle or any other tissue that was injured. We have the civil engineering. You can see this one. It was a poor job that was done by an engineer, but it was lucky that it didn't fall away. The civil engineers usually check the ground, so every building that you put on is very stable. And there are very nice buildings that are built nowadays, and there are many even more fancy ones.
Okay, do you guys know what the leaning building is?
Do you guys have any questions? Yes, I'm listening.
Is that building still there?
Yeah, this one? This one? Yes, it's still standing. It's the Pisa building. And
Is it because of the foundation or because of the building itself?
no, so what I read is that the foundation wasn't very stable and it started sinking. The building itself was stable, however the ground wasn't. And the civil engineers usually, before they put a building there, they have to check that the building is going to be stable and the ground is good. This was a poor job, but he was lucky that it didn't sink all the way. And there are many tourists, by the way, coming every day to that place and in Italy and looking at them. You see many people taking different pictures with that. Now, this might be unreal right now, but we hope that this is going to be developed. You're going to have a friend who is also a car for you, you know. And the UFO is going to be developed by you also, not only seen on a daily basis. It's unreal for now, but it's your job to transform it into a reality. And I really hope you guys are going to do it because we're trying to build a foundation for you. And who's next? Andre is going to present next.
Alright guys, so as you know my name is Andre, right? Chemical engineering major here. And what I'd like to talk to you about is the money aspect of engineering. Alright, do you know that the average salary for a starting engineer just from college is $69,000 here in New York? That's a lot of money just coming straight from college. Just graduating with your bachelor's degree. $69,000. That's a lot of money to start with. But guess, look at this graph. Right? This graph is actually telling you the amount of demand that's actually there out there right now for persons. So presently, engineers in technical fields are in demand right now. They want people who have ability to problem-solving skills, right? Persons are able to use their hands to do something to help the world. That's what they want right now, right? They're looking for you guys who have the initiative, the ideas, right? However, you see like liberal arts majors, right? Not to talk anything about like English and.
I'm a liberal arts major.
I'm just saying, they're in demand, just not as much as engineers. So there are jobs out there for you guys. There's money out there for you guys. Right? This is the projected graph growth from 2008 to 2018, right? This is the demand that's growing up, right? The demand is just increasing up to 2008 for biomedical engineering. So they want persons who are able to synthesize new stuff. So, for example, you broke your leg, right? Then you can build it back. An engineer can just build your leg back. So wouldn't that be cool? You lose your leg and say, I'm going to buy a new leg. You keep on going. That's pretty cool. Don't you guys think so?
Yeah.
No? Come on. I find it extremely cool that I can grow my arm back. Right? But now these are actually, a couple years back, the averages of the salaries starting out with, right? And they're judged in terms of men and women. So you see engineers at the top scale, right? Men make $55,000. I think it was like 2 or 3 years back, right? $55,000, and everybody else makes under that, right? That's just starting out straight from college, right? But guess what? Right? Anybody in any major can actually start engineering. I met one guy who was doing art history, right? And he's like, I'm not making a lot of money. I want to do engineering. He came, he did civil engineering. And right now, he's graduating on top of his class, right? And he's working for the city. And he's making money while he's in college. Can you believe that? Think about it. You want to make money while you're in college? I mean, you're getting paid through more likely financial aid, right? To go to school. And then you're working for the city, and they're paying you like $10,000 a year. Now that's nice. Don't you think so? Well, that's $10,000 in your pocket. I find that pretty cool. Now, engineers have been involved in almost everything you see, touch, and rely on. Can you think of one thing, or tell me one thing, that you think engineers did have no part in?
Pizza.
What? Pizza? What you said?
I'm a bird.
You're a bird. All right. You got a point there. I'll agree.
Wait, do you mean your conception or your actual bird?
Alright. However, when a lot of, like for example, forever, even though with birth, right, engineers technically don't really have anything to do with it. But when it comes to ventilation machines, if you know, when you see they take, when kids are born, they bring them to the hospital and they put them in like this glass, sort of like a glass box, right? You guys ever seen that on TV?
Yeah.
Now, who do you think built that? An engineer was involved in putting, right?
Yeah.
Engineers of the place, they help make the proper environment so when the baby is immediately born, they put in a nice, safe, clean environment. And engineering is needed for that. Oh, there we go. Sonograms. There we go. So engineering is needed, right? Engineering can be exciting, and it can be an exciting career full of opportunities. Never forget that, guys. Engineering is exciting. You can always use new ideas and make something, right? That's the thing about engineering. If you have an idea, you can make it. It doesn't limit you. You just say, oh, you need equipment? You can get it. There's ways of getting equipment. But once you have that idea, you can make it. And that's the opportunities that engineering offers you. The job market is good. Right now, I believe it's good. Very good. So, coming out of college, get a nice job starting at $69,000. Just coming out of college with a 4-year degree, I think that's pretty nice. Right? The benefits are awesome too. Oh, question. What if you know nothing right now about engineering? You're gonna learn. It won't matter. Like I said, my friend, he knew nothing about engineering. He was doing art history, and he's like, I need some more money in my pocket. What do I need to do? He read up something about engineering. He's like, okay, I'm gonna check out civil engineering. He checked out civil engineering, and he learned as he go up. So if you know nothing now, you can learn something later. So you can start right now and start doing your reading to know what engineering is all about. Question. Say it again. What is civil engineering? Right? Civil engineering helps build most of the bridges that you see. Right? 59th Street Bridge, right? RFK Bridge. Civil engineers are required for that. Tall buildings. You know, do you guys know what the tallest building in the world is?
Yeah.
That building in India.
This right here.
Yeah.
I need to call it. I need to call it though. It's something. The Bugatti, something like that?
Nah. Yes, you have it? You have it? No. You're not right. It's in Dubai. Alright, so it's in Dubai, right? Yeah. The proper name for it is Khalif. Burj Khalifa, right? Oh man, I'm sorry, you're too late, I'm sorry. Alright? But that's the name of the tallest building. And engineers, civil engineers were very much required in making that building so tall, right? Over 100 stories tall, right? Engineers are required, civil engineers are the one that help build it and ensure that, like you said, the structure has to be good, so it doesn't lean like the leaning tower of a pizza, right? Civil engineers, that's what they do. They help make structural buildings, right? Every building you go in, a civil engineer took part in, all right? And not only that, engineers allow you opportunities for leadership because people will always be relying on you. People rely on engineers because we make everything that people use, right? So you get trips and you go to conferences as an engineer just to learn more stuff, right? Your job might send you to China and say, hey, I want you to go to China and tell me what's going on over there. And come back and then come with all the ideas you got, right? They will do just that. You'll get a ton of opportunities just for being an engineer. Right? But before you guys start, here's advice I want to give you. I think all of us want to give you this advice. You have two choices. You can either play now, or you can play later. You can play now, you know, have a little fun, right? Here and there, right? Or you can play later. I have a nice car, wheeling up in your fence. Everybody want to be like in the Benz, right? Right? Or a Bugatti? Anybody want to be that? Lamborghini. There we go. Right? Rolls Royce. But before you can get there, you need to get the money to do that. Right? You get there, you need to get the money to do that. And how you get this money? Engineering offers the opportunity for you to get that money. Right? But you need to work hard starting from now. From now, right? The next 2 to 3 years in high school, and especially the following 4 to 8 years in college, right? Dramatically impact the quality of your adult life. So, based on how hard you work starting from now till you graduate from college determines if you can play later. So, it's my advice to you guys. Start working hard. If you're not working hard now, start working. If you're working hard now, keep on working hard. Alright? So you guys have any questions? Question.
What if you have already thought of an invention but you don't know how to tell people?
If you're an invention, right, and you want to do it, and you can't do it, mean you don't have the equipment,
No.
you already have the idea.
Like you have an idea for an invention, but you
Write it down.
Write it down.
First thing, write it down. Right, write down the things you need. Write down the ways you can make it. Once you, right, you have to know the ways you can make it. If you're an invention, you got to know ways you can make it, right? Once you get that down, there are different opportunities out there, right? I remember one of the things in Kickstarter, right? That's one of the websites you can check out. There are other websites out there you can actually put your idea out and which will help you. Alright? So first thing is write it down. Alright guys, thank you very much for your attention. Do appreciate it. Alright?